Hey. Well, Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome back to 2022 with the Conspiracy Keepers. My name's Backlash. We've got Silky, loving the new name. We've got Rough Joe and Semi-Smooth Scooter over there.
Excellent.
And if you missed the Deadpool on the 30th, God, Scooter, we're just so close, but you get no money.
No cigars. I got them right here.
Pick Betty White. She could have just hung on for 12 hours. She would have been the first one in a long time to win.
Wow.
Do I get an alternate?
Sure.
Can I have multiple choice like the old SAT test, A, B, C, D?
You go ahead and pick one. I think you sent me one off air.
I did. So the first obvious joke is hello, Dolly. Dolly Parton is another beloved, treasured icon of the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000, 2010, and current. And with her latest, Joe and Jackie as well, didn't Dolly reappear on the cover of Playboy for her husband for like her 70th birthday?
Yeah, I think I remember something like that.
Yeah, so
yeah, I
she's
think
back
so.
in the ether. So that's the obvious. However, there are, equally the same sex symbols. We have Raquel Welch,
right.
Diane Cannon,
Diane Keaton.
That was the other. That was yes. Thank you.
Diane Cannon passed away.
She did.
Who?
I think Diane Cannon. She was a nurse. Played a nurse.
No, I think Diane Cannon is still with
Cannon's
us.
alive.
Yeah, I think she's okay.
She's still acting.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
by the way,
I just saw her in a sitcom a month ago.
But if you've kind of seen her lately, she hasn't. I don't want to start anything, but she hasn't aged well. I mean,
no, she hasn't.
She looks a little rough.
Electra. There's some names, but so I mean, here's a given because we joked about Betty White for a long time. So let's just sacrifice $1 a year for the second decade of the 21st century, and I'll stick with Dolly Parton because I outlived Dolly Parton. We got a much bigger series of problems.
Can't I go for the Queen? I think the Queen.
Queen
on her last
I think I agree with that.
Oh, well, then
okay. Down for that. Just one, Silky.
Yeah.
You only gave us one. You gave us Sam Elliott.
Yeah. So can I have?
Yep, I'll put the Queen down for you.
Put the Queen. But what about Willie Nelson?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Quit spreading yourself thin. That's like $10 for you right now.
Okay. Is that a month or a year?
Daily.
And then we got a couple of corrections.
Okay.
So the last episode, I got sideways with my dyslexia. I said that the Vatican had hired 21 theologians. Wasn't the Vatican. The story was NASA. And the number was not 21. It was 24, with the follow-up from the Associated Press that said the story didn't happen, which then brought me to NASA and where we are now, and the continued promises of kicking the can down the road of when we're going back to the moon. And I think about how come with all the satellite technology and the 1 meter resolution and the thermal cameras and the imaging and the celestial coming into alignment. And then I have to bring up Amy from Jeopardy as the latest victim and winner of Jeopardy. In one of the answers last week for Final Jeopardy, the one-word name of the only man-made craft from the U.S. left on the moon. I'm paraphrasing the question. The obvious answer is Eagle. Eagle takes back up off from the moon, reconnects with the command module. They jettison Eagle. Eagle supposed to fall back to the moon because of the gravitational pull of the moon. How come we still don't have the Eagle crash site? Where is it? Where's the Eagle that landed, took back up, got him back into the command module, and then crashed, sacrificed itself for humanity on the moon?
Yeah.
Where is it?
Well, they can't tell us that because, as you know, they lost all the telemetry data. They lost it all. They don't have it anymore. They can't account for it. And on top of that, they lost the technology to go to the moon. That's why they
Joe,
can't
this
do
is
it again.
NASA, not the
And this,
FBI.
I know this was NASA's official story is they lost it all. We don't know where it is. The biggest accomplishment in all of mankind to go to the moon has been lost, and they don't know where it is.
Well,
Ugh.
here's the thing, is that according to a couple people that I follow, like David Adair, you know, the Rocket Man guy, the genius guy, he says that we're not welcome on the moon. He says we've left 140,000 tons or whatever of literal poop bags,
Right.
pee bags, equipment, garbage. You know, I mean, we left all this stuff on the moon and they don't want us there.
Right.
Who would want somebody who leaves their trash? They come to another person's like area, planet, moon, and then you leave all your goop behind. And we're just not welcome there. That's what I
Right.
think.
And don't forget all the poop bags that are in orbit around the moon and around the Earth because they dumped it, you know, on the way there and on the way back.
Well, yeah, because they didn't bring
Yeah.
the poop home.
Right.
I mean,
right,
you know,
right, yeah. So it's still orbiting the Earth.
They left it out on the side of the road.
yeah, the disposable diaper came from that.
Oh my gosh.
You know,
Oh.
I don't think we're welcome there. Honest to
If
God.
we're going to stay factual, I just want to make sure that I got to my corrections because
Yeah.
I was working on several projects and I reversed and juxtaposed a couple of numbers. The Vatican did not allegedly hire the 21 theologians. It was 24, and it was allegedly NASA. But thank goodness the Associated Press covered that or cleared all that up by saying it didn't happen. So wanted to get to that. And then I did have a chance to speak with Silky off the air of what was going on. We've had several headlines that are just unbelievable.
Yeah.
In the fact that we may have seen more innocent, and those people from Kazakhstan, forgive me in not identifying you correctly, but as we all talk about the imminent threat to democracy on January 6th with the insurrection, in which no one's been charged with that crime for a year, we talk about democracy. Democracy is a 51-49 mob. And right now, in this last 6 days in Kazakhstan, the people, now whether they are dissidents, whether this is a orchestrated coup, whether this is a false flag, have said enough to the mandates, enough to the jab, enough to the tyranny. This isn't a democracy. Get out. And there has been a massive uprising.
Mm-hmm.
It stayed nuclear quiet for 3 days. Only until Kazakhstan shut the internet and the mobile phones off did the world just go, what's going on? Did we miss something? Oh, we can't talk about gender and we can't talk about sexuality. Then how could we possibly talk about the fact that perhaps more people who peaceably assembled to protest a dictatorial government were most likely gunned down in a number that will pale to Tiananmen Square?
Yeah.
That was not one man against one tank. It was a line of dozens of tanks, not hundreds, thousands of soldiers executed, tens of thousands in Tiananmen Square. Then they went at, like the mafia, then they went after their families.
Yeah. Right.
President Biden's phone call this past week to Vladimir Putin regarding the Ukraine, I believe, is very suspicious.
Yeah.
Day 4 of the series of events in Kazakhstan, Vladimir Putin is sending in troops. Yeah, because the last thing Vladimir Putin right now needs is democracy being challenged in his backyard. And worse, no one on the planet knows where Kazakhstan is on the map. They'd be better to stick their finger and get it up there before they could find it.
What about Borat? Isn't he from Kazakhstan?
China
A little
Look
humor,
at
a
the
little humor.
geography
Sorry.
of China, the former Soviet Union, and Kazakhstan.
Okay.
This is god awful.
Mm.
Now, just like and again, if history teaching us anything, since they wanted to throw it in our face yesterday, December 7th, 41, 9/11, 2001, January 6th, 2021. The ones are becoming suspicious.
Hmm.
The numerology is now in our faces. Secret societies are running this whole Bugada,
Oh yeah.
and they're doing it in the shadow. They're
Right.
using the corporate mechanism to drive government. We're going to extend the mandates. Really?
Oh yeah.
Can somebody stand by right now, because the Supreme Court is hearing the case? They're already extending it now to March.
Mandates for
Well,
mask
social
or jab?
distancing and masks and keeping everybody safe, because
Yeah.
the Journal of American Medical Association just published a paper that said we're gonna have to live with this the rest of our lives. So
Of
could
course.
you just roll your sleeve up and get another shot?
Yeah.
It's to keep everyone safe.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
these latest series of commercials, having a one-on-one conversation of why won't you get this? Hey man, I don't trust. Well, what if? And you bring, and the emotion and the tears. All right, maybe I'll consider getting it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean that's what they do. I mean, they play on our fears. And by the way, if you notice a lot of those news shows and a lot of the things that are promoting this jab, if you notice before the news program even starts, this program brought to you by Pfizer. Well, isn't that a coincidence?
Yes.
I mean, they bring a lot of stuff. These companies are making billions upon billions of dollars from each of these new variants. And nobody's asking why. And we talked about this a little bit earlier before the show started. This new variant called the Flurona.
Flurona.
I'm thinking, yeah, it's called Flurona.
My Flurona.
Yeah, I know.
know.
I know.
Hey, Joe
I know.
Pags,
And they're
this is
just
how
messing with
obnoxious
this.
it is.
They're
Joe
just messing with
Pags
us
will have
now.
a parody of that next week on the show, and this is all a joke. This is dead serious.
I know. They're just mocking us now. And and just like we talked about beforehand, they're going to have another jab coming up. They're going to need another booster for this new Flurona. And you know what? People still, I mean, maybe some people are, but people still aren't catching on. People are going to line up to go get it because they're afraid, and they just can't see through it. And I just, it's baffling.
Another recipe of the history of war. World wars have broken out in a pandemic or a flu. In the case of World War I, it was not the contributing factor. It was a factor. Then fast forward, polio, and then World War II. And now, where are we now?
Well, in all of history, tyranny has always taken over in the guise of keeping the people safe. It's nothing new. They keep doing the same thing over and over again. People don't learn from history, and they keep falling for the same tricks over and over and over. Okay, I feel better now.
And if this show gets yanked down, I apologize, because it was obviously everything that I just spewed.
You guys are hopped up on dope today, man. Everybody took their Wheaties and their coffee and came on at once.
I know. So yeah, it's just maddening what's going on in the world right now. Go ahead.
There might be good news because of what I forwarded to Joe and to Jackie. Backlash, you of course have a first-hand experience of the history, but as we're going to try and figure out how to fund this show with the viewer support and clicks, or a Patreon, or whatever we decide to do, we do have the opportunity to perhaps win $10,000 with the St. Paul Winter Carnival, the medallion hunt, which I used to do on a different show because of from where I was and the clues. And the last time I did it on the air, so Backlash, I thought it was in Mounds Park. So if you remember that, I'm standing on the top of Mounds Park, and what are you looking at? All I'm looking at is Navy Island and Harriet Island. That's it. And a couple of trees. It's got to be right here. It's where I'm standing. Where is it the next morning? It was at Harriet Island right there under the tree. God damn it. But as a kid, I wasn't allowed to do that because of my association with it. But I followed the Winter Carnival treasure hunt my entire life. Where is this thing? And several years, I've been real close. That if I were there, we'd have had it. I was within 50 feet of the damn thing. The last time I was literally just looking across the river at the tree of where the medallion was. So if we want to talk about Carnival and a chance of 10 grand in the medallion, then we should at least explain to these viewers what the hell is Carnival, because now I am tremendously suspicious. And I have reached out to Joe. Hey, Joe, take a look at this.
Okay.
Give me your opinion.
Well, first tell me, because you lived it firsthand. You're from you saw this firsthand. I didn't see this firsthand. Let me ask you this. What were your thoughts of it at the time? And now, knowing what you know now, what do you think of it?
Growing up in it, since it was part of my first memories, no different than grandma or grandpa, or a cup of hot cocoa, or the sled. But the mythology of what we might talk about was not foreign to me. And I was a multi-generational member of that association. So grandpa was in it. Uncle so-and-so is in it. Uncle so-and-so is in it. Aunt so-and-so was in it. So that doesn't mean it was normal by just looking at the outfits. But there were those who were in it and kept the secret with the cover of, because it's for the betterment of, and this is why we do what we do.
Right.
And then you see the cast of characters, and as Joe and I and Backlash have done in many other shows talking about secret societies, how they groom people, how from organizations people are selected, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's no attempt to throw anybody under a bus or anything. It's just, okay, I've now lived a half a century. And thank God I still have my brain cells, and that they're cognitive, and I can look back and go, this was me then, this is me now. There's been change here if it's internal. But when you look at an entity like what I was in, that goes against everything, because it must remain, because the narrative is not allowed to change. The story remains the same. The cast of characters continue to change, but the cast of characters do not change, if that makes sense. Titan is Titan. Nodos is Nodos. Euros is Euros. Zephyrus is Zephyrus. What the hell are these goofy names? Yeah. So if Jackie, you can read the short version, and then Joe, can you break down the long version?
Okay.
Or no, let's delete the whole thing, call this a bad day.
No. Well, let me do this. Because it's pretty long and it's pretty involved. But let's understand that all these secret societies, whether they be Skull and Bones, the Freemasons, Club of Rome, all of them, they're all into the same thing. Okay, they all believe the same thing.
And I'm not saying what are carnivals.
No, I know that.
Because it's opening out in your face.
Well, no, I know
but
that.
The symbols.
I know. Well, it is, because that's what I'm saying. It is a secret society. It is part of that. And in my opinion, you, because your family was involved in that, you were supposed to be part of it, and you weren't. And that caused problems with you and people close to you. Am I right? Am I right?
I'm sorry, I didn't know if you could see me. Oh,
okay.
Yes. No, Joe,
okay.
I was agreeing.
Okay.
I can tell you this as a child, at the age of 2 and 3 and 4 years old, I knew that I didn't belong.
Right.
I didn't fit.
Right.
Something was not right. I could not figure out what it was, but it was like I was living in a very surreal dream world. And it's easy to look back now of, so his real name, Tim was acting out, which is frightening, because if I was doing that as a child today, they'd have me so filled with drugs and locked up somewhere.
Yep.
But back then, and I'm not discounting or glorifying, but it was a world where it was. When you acted up, you got disciplined fast, immediate, swift. Some will debate extreme. What became so, oh my God, was who the one that was extreme towards me was not who everybody suspected. And, well, why didn't you say anything? Well, I'm sorry, I'm 9. I don't know what Stockholm Syndrome is. So, but the answer there was, we can't handle him. Let's pay people to handle him. And in my case, military schools, which was another, I'm going to be here. And then my exodus. But because of the guilt that, as Joe was bringing up, because you were young and so desperate to please the captors, all right, I'll agree to do this. Because, and why? Because kids of child abuse, why are you a good mimic? Why are you a good bartender? Why are you a good, I called it in the world of Star Trek, I was a cameloid. Whatever the room was, I could figure out either how to blend into it, which I couldn't do. So I learned how to hide in plain sight. Just go be the character. And then, Joe, you'll find this funny because somebody asked me and I didn't know because of the Chinese New Year. I swear to God, I didn't know. So 1968 is the year of the monkey.
Okay. All right. You mean,
how many references in 20 years?
The Chinese year of the monkey? Is that what you're talking about?
20 years have I brought up monkey?
All the time.
Not knowing.
Yeah.
The Alice 8. The little.
Yep.
And.
Yeah.
Backlash to our mutual friend.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I don't know how much pre-programming is in my head that certain things are there and certain aren't. But so, Jackie, you have the 3 or 4 paragraph version.
Yes.
Would you read it?
Are you going to tell me what it means?
Yes.
All right.
All right.
The Legend of the Winter Carnival.
St. Paul Winter Carnival.
Huh?
It's St. Paul Winter Carnival, because if you Google Winter Carnival right now, there's a whole bunch of them going on across the world.
Let's see.
Oh, and to everybody at F&B and the royal families, stand down, calm down. This is not an attack. I'm trying to figure out who the hell I am. So read it.
That was an interesting statement. Okay.
A long, long time ago, Astrios, is that how you say it?
Close enough.
The god of starlight, and Eos, goddess of the rosy-fingered morn, were wed. The union was blessed with 4 sons, Titan, Euros, Zephyrus, and Nodos. Boreas, king of the winds, assigned to each brother a permanent grant of great force and power. To Titan was assigned the blustery north wind. To Euros was granted control of the irresponsible east wind. To Zephyrus was given custody of the bountiful west wind. To Nodos was presented the balmy south wind. The brothers,
Ole.
The brothers cavorted gaily over land and sea. Boreas, while on his extensive travels, came upon a winter paradise known as Minnesota. He paused to behold the enchanting beauty of a magnificent group of 7 gently sloping hills, in whose embrace nestled a beautiful city. Boreas whistled in sheer ecstasy. Historic St. Paul, her 7 hills, an ideal place. I will make St. Paul the capital of all my domains. It will henceforth be emblazoned to the world as the winter playground of the realm of Boreas. Meanwhile, Vulcanus, the god of fire, Vulcanus, the god of fire, an implacable enemy of Boreas, crackled in defiant disdain. By the great sword of Mars, I will temper the blustering of Boreas with the heat and roar of my forces. He was tireless in his bitter resistance to all the festivities of Boreas. That's all I have.
Oh, by the way, good reading. I really like that. I was kind of getting into
It
that.
was, and
Thank you.
dead cold. I didn't get to pre-read.
I know, that was awesome. I like that.
Because so Jackie,
Thank
that's how that would be published, for example, in the St. Paul, whatever they're calling it now, the St. Paul Pioneer Press, St. Paul Dispatch, were the morning and evening newspapers that I grew up with as a kid.
Okay.
So the short version, Jackie, is that after the starting in the Industrial Revolution in the 1880s, this idea, we're going to have a carnival. And it came from the St. Paul, the powers that be, the founding fathers, not necessarily political, those of banking, industry, and prominence. And they met at places like the Minnesota Club, the University Club, the St. Paul Athletic Club. And they're sitting down there in the middle of winter going, how the hell can we get anybody down here? So they created this mechanism called Winter Carnival, which is the worst time to have a parade. The first Saturday in February. Well, then that's when we're doing it. And that's the short story, then creating the cast of characters. In the initial mythology, it was only King Boreas. After a couple parades, they go, well, we're missing something here. We need an enemy. Boreas just can't come in and take a hug. So we need conflict, the battle of fire and ice, the colors of red and blue, those intergenerationally that are in the royal family versus in fire and brimstone. And which one do I want to be in? Can't play both sides. Yeah, but the secrets of the royal family are in here, and the secrets of fire and brimstone are in here. And then we're back to Irish Mafia and the power players of the 20s.
Mm-hmm.
And
okay.
Oh, and we don't even talk. Oh, because that's got to go on this. I've got to figure out how to get this thing done and framed and get it into a restaurant in 2 weeks. So now in the world of carnival and things I've been doing and fast forward and now retired, I've had interesting people pop out of the woodwork. My biological father is dead. No one knew. Like 6 people knew that secret for 20 years. Yet a week ago on social media, I got a message. And I went, okay, you are either spam or what can I do for you? And it was a generic reply. I have good news. And I said, well, is either so-and-so dead, or did so-and-so give you a fire truck and you're giving it back to me because I don't want it? And then it turned out it was spam for USAA insurance.
Okay.
How did the insurance company know my dad's mistress, and why would they use social media to contact me for spam?
Yeah.
Now,
That's
in the world
weird.
of St. Paul and social media, because I am the oldest of the Gen 4s. Of surviving, I'm the oldest of the Gen 3s in our family. The youngest of the Gen 4s now, in a political attempt, has taken back a name that he hasn't used. His maternal name, which is my paternal name, and is wanting to juxtaposition himself into power in the land of Seven Hills. And people have reached out to me at what is going on. I said, not my circus, not my monkeys. And that's when they said, what year were you born? And I said 1968. You know, you were born in the year of the monkey. Did you know that? And I went, no. And the memory banks opened up.
Really?
I swear to God. Hence why me, Joe, sending you that, because of the images and the pictures and the symbols. Was this just generically, organically, how do we do this? Or is there a sinister, and I'm not saying, because again, the names, not trying, I want answers. Can I get a straight answer from it? I know, Hail Boreas. Can I get a straight, can I get a straight answer?
Well, I think it's pretty interesting what you said a little bit earlier. A couple of things you said that you probably didn't realize. One was, I'm trying to figure out who I am.
Yeah.
And that is pretty typical of people that are raised under Illuminati influences and people in that on those kind of industries, societies that we're always talking about. So that makes complete sense to me that that would be an issue with you right now. Also, you said that you were really good at blending in and hiding in plain sight. That's what they do. Whether you know it or not, they taught you that. They want to instill that in you because that's what they do. They blend in and they hide in plain sight. That's how they get things
Is that
past
why
people.
I'm so comfortable in a costume?
Maybe so. Hey, I wouldn't be surprised. But you were taught that without you knowing it. That's what those families
Because
do.
again,
They're
I
in that.
saw it before they could teach any of it to me. It was just you were picked up and you went with it, and so you saw it.
Yeah. But good. Thank you for sharing that because that was pretty eye-opening as to what those secret societies
Is it
do
a grooming?
and what
Is
they
it
do.
is it a grooming area?
Well, yeah, it always is. That's that's who they are. That's what they do. That's why you made that statement. I'm trying to figure out who I am because they don't want you to know who you are. They want to create you in their image. They don't like individuality. They don't like critical thinkers. They don't like people like us. They want people that go with the flow, that comply, that don't ask questions.
And
I don't want to be the conspiracy freak, but again, I, as a resident from the Seven Hills, expatriated, exiled, and where did I wind up? The comment when I was in Phoenix having the temper tantrum, where do you want to go? And I know Backlash, you know the story because of Dennis.
Yeah.
Dennis Miller. Because we were performing in Denver. We came out of Stapleton. We stayed at what I called the A-frame. I believe it was the Radisson at the time. We chased stewardesses. I'll leave it at that. Get up the next morning, open the drapes. There was Stapleton. There's the mountains. And I made the comment, I could live here. Fast forward several years. Where do you want to go? I said Denver. And yet there's something in my head that goes, you want to talk about being displaced, but keeping him, we know where he is. He's isolated, and kind of like in the Irish Mafia, you don't tell him the family business, just let him earn. And I can't get a straight. I mean, I don't know.
Interesting. Well, that was cool. Thanks for sharing that. And by the
Can
way,
we talk
Jackie,
about
good
the
reading. Good
piranhas?
reading, Jackie. I like the way you read that. That's pretty
Silky,
awesome. Oh, so sorry, Silky.
I'm trying to fly
Silky.
under the
Sorry.
radar today.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that.
I'm teasing. It's all right. And thank you for the compliment.
Wow. How much time do we have left, by the way?
We went way over. We got to go.
Okay. Okay.
Do we have any football pool?
I will say this about the NFL. The NFL
Are
is
they
getting
going to
more.
move the Super Bowl?
Well, no. What the NFL is, they're getting more and more and more fixed every year. It should be obvious to everybody that these games are not played on the level. They're highly manipulated. And I tell you what, if the Buccaneers with Tom Brady play the Patriots against Bill Belichick in the Super Bowl, it's fixed. That would be the perfect. We want Tom Brady, former team, Bill Belichick, former coach, facing together in the Super Bowl. If that happens, don't ever watch the NFL again because it's just like wrestling.
Well, they have to. They have to promise the the high-paying advertisers.
Yeah, I know.
On game day that they're going to get a show.
Yep, that's right.
So it's just like it's like anything. It's like gladiator stuff. You got to stack the deck. You got to get your ringers in and.
Right. That's right.
It's just like the radio station versus the TV station, when you're playing softball in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to get a ringer on your team, like Jerry
that's right.
or somebody who's actually an athlete instead of these pudgy little radio people.
Exactly. That's exactly.
Do we want to talk about Antonio Brown?
Well, does he really fit into where we're going? I don't know. You can mention it. Go ahead.
Well, just the over the top behavior of, because Joe, you mentioned about NFL and professional wrestling, and what I was thinking in my head is, do you think that's driven more by the players or the refs? And then Silky made a comment, and then players went to Antonio of, Oh, you want a distraction while we're screwing around with the game? Let them just keep focusing on Antonio and not the poor officiating or the deliberate ball dropping by a player.
Yeah.
So that was why I was for Joe. Do you think it's more in cahoots by the officiants or by the players, or is it 50-50?
No, it's only certain officials know about it, and only certain players know about it. And only certain coaches. Not very many. Everybody's not in on it. I mean, it has to be like that. I mean, they can't have everybody know about it.
If they were.
Yeah, no, it's only certain key people that are in on this and how they manipulate games and fix them, betting lines and all that kind of stuff. Only a few key people, not everybody.
Need to know basis, just
Yes,
like like the government, just like
Exactly.
NASA, just like the military, just like
Exactly.
everything.
That's right. That's exactly what it is. That's right. That's why you see so many outrageously bad calls and people get so mad. It's like, can't you understand they didn't miss this call? They did this on purpose to manipulate the game. I mean, people still aren't adding that up.
Well, it's just like 10 other subjects we cover on here. Now,
Yeah.
can I just go back real quick
Good.
to Kazakhstan? I finally had to look it up on the map. It's in Central Asia. It borders Russia. Now, here's what I want to know is why are they sending in troops? What are they trying to gain? There's only 19 million people in the whole of the thing. It's like a mountainous steppe land with a whole bunch of, red dirt. What are they doing? What are they doing? And is that the phone purpose for the phone call from the president and Putin? Okay, yeah, go ahead. We can handle this. Yeah, we'll make the media report on it, because I was just looking up CNN, NBC, all those were saying that the I didn't mean Afghanistan, Kazakhstan, that the government there was saying, shoot to kill people who are rising up, shoot to kill. And that's only reported on mainstream media, CNN,
Right.
NBC, CNBC. So, this is hello.
Yeah.
This is a distraction. This is a distraction. What do they have? Oil? Did they find gas? What are they doing? They're chopping up those rocks to make fuel. What is happening there in Kazakhstan? What do they have, Scooter?
Because details it's still now we're within this we're now out of the 100 hours. We are still in the first week. And because of the fact that, and hopefully Jackie, Silky, you can, I'm sorry, that you could confirm that in fact, so today's Friday, Tuesday night, Wednesday is when they shut down the internet and social media and the mobile phones. Landlines still exist in Kazakhstan, believe it or not. But the ability, and that was what was scary, because what happens when people's power go off and their phones go off? They go outside. And what does a mob attract? A mob. And when we talk about dissidents and rebels and protesters against the government, it still rings back to my young days, which are flooding back on me, of like the Contras and the freedom fighters. We don't want people fighting for freedom. What kind of double? And that was the 80s. What kind of double speak was going on? And the best gag I could come up with was, I'm a Contra, he's a Contra, she's a Contra, we're a Contra. Wouldn't you like to be a Contra too? What is wrong?
It looks like the main city where people are protesting is closest to China and Kyrgyzstan.
Yep, it's the capital city.
Yeah, the Almaty, maybe. Almaty. But that's pretty dang close to China, folks.
Yep.
Oh, here it is. The country has some of the largest oil reserves in the world.
There we go.
Produces 1.6 million barrels of oil a day and attracted billions of dollars in foreign investment. Oh, China. There it is. China controlling all that oil.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to joke, but even Denver media is hyping up that there are piranha attacks going on around the world. So we just want you to be safe. So we're going to shout out to the problem starters right now so they can tell us about the piranha pandemic. And I guess Shark Week is, can't get that booted up fast enough, can we?
Oh, my.
And the biggest story. when are we going to talk about the fact that it was most likely arson that started the Marshall Fire, that brought President Biden here? Gee, they can't chemtrail today because Air Force One was in Colorado airspace.
I mean, folks,
You know, if I were an Irish American and my building caught on fire and the media and the police called, you know what? I just don't want to talk right now. Let's let this settle down. Why don't you guys call me later and maybe I'll talk to you? I'd be dead. I'd be in handcuffs. You'd never see or hear from me again. The liberal, and you want to see Polis running for president? Watch these press conferences. Watch how he sidled himself up today to Biden. Why are we not now, 8 days later? How come no one discusses the possibility this was arson? And
breathe.
In the days, weeks, months, and years to come, the environmental impact of the burn may not allow residents to rebuild.
Oh, no, they're not going to allow people to rebuild, especially at the density level that piece of property occupies.
Right.
And now, well, how can homeowners in Highlands Ranch and Aurora, how can they handle fire mitigation this spring? Evergreen will be the next. And that's the city and county of Denver. Meanwhile, Scooter Damas was wrong. Scooter Damas, the night of the fire, estimated that approximately 1,000 structures would be destroyed. That number as of last night, 9:02 p.m., 1,084 structures have been destroyed.
Wow, you're pretty close. I mean, that's insane, you guys. That 100 mile, please, let's talk about the frequencies. Let's talk about the weather mod. Come on.
Yeah, that's right.
Environmental terrorism. How many of those who supported environmental terrorism in California and the Sierras and the Hug-a-Tree program of the, what's the name of the Sierra group? And let's go tear down a ski lift and let's torch a, none of this is adding up. And for the media, ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox in Denver, talking about climate change is delusional.
Well, yeah, everything they say, you know, you don't have to have somebody standing there with a pack of matches.
Yeah, right.
You know, it is done by the sky. It's done by the combination of frequencies. They just make the 5G tower go a little harder.
Yeah.
And they said the FAA said you can't turn 5G on yet because it may disrupt holiday travel.
I know. Yeah, I know. And people are back home saying, "Oop, man, makes sense to me. They want to travel holidays. Guess that's the reason." I don't know.
Did anybody see some of the footage coming out of Boulder and Louisville and Superior showing all the homes charred? Do you remember the old Prime Star and satellite dishes made of plastic, and the people put them 3 feet out in front of their house with a couple of sandbags? How about we build homes out of what they make the Prime Star dishes out of? Everything's torched. And the plastic is okay?
Yeah, right. And a lot of times the trees, all the shrubberies and bushes, I mean, they're intact, but you know, the cars are just turned to just melted. Yeah.
And I hate to bring up the Wizard of Menlo Park. Why are we not using his architectural standards today? Menlo Park can't burn.
Listen, those fires from Northern California.
Park is. He built the whole thing with gas and the whole drill, but it's all concrete and it can't burn. That's the whole purpose of what his jump of what used to be conventional building and technology of the day. So the wizard of Thomas Alva Edison.
Yeah, Edison
was the wizard. So he created Menlo Park. Residential facility. Yeah, it's not going to burn. It's all the latest state of the art. Yeah, watch this. I'll set this on fire. You can't. I know it's cool, isn't it? The people though, it's cost too much.
Yeah, they won't rebuild on that.
No.
And I'm so sorry if somebody's watching this that had their home burned. You know,
horrible.
The church that I do a little bit of work with. This is the saddest thing you're ever going to hear today or this week. Sent out a need. Okay, residents in that area, here was their need. They needed ash sifting boxes.
Mm.
So they got some people together, and a whole bunch of people got some netting, meshing by the, yard or whatever, and
To make the flats.
got some lumber, right, so that people could go out and sift through the ashes of their
To
lives.
find their jewelry.
Wow.
Now, isn't that the most horrifying thing
It is.
in the world? Or their dog's teeth? Pets
Mm.
perished in those
Sure.
fires,
Sure.
let alone people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's find out how it happens so we don't have to pass legislation, because it never happens again. Because the entire narrative of this was a downed power line. And again, the media reports something and they just won't. Sorry, we got corrections. I screwed up. I said something wrong. They steamroll right over it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll happen. It's going to happen again. In
Oh,
Colorado.
yeah.
Remember
Oh,
in
yeah.
Santa Rosa,
Yeah.
like
Yep.
year after
Mhm.
year after year. That
Yeah.
place was targeted. Those people can't
Sure.
rebuild. There's not enough
Exactly.
insurance on the planet to rebuild
Mhm.
those homes in Santa Rosa area in
Right.
California, because it's it costs to rebuild, and people don't carry that much insurance. It just doesn't
Mhm.
happen.
Right. And if you look at some of the writings from the globalists, I mean, they're all over the place. Like we were talking about earlier. They hide in plain sight. They talk about rewilding. In other words, they want this to happen. They want to drive people out of certain areas to where
Yes.
nobody can live anymore. So, and that's part of their goals. They even
Agenda
admit
21
it.
and
They
Agenda
admit it.
2030.
Yeah, they admit it. Yeah, that's
Yep.
what they do, and that's what they want to do. And what better way than with fires and natural disasters and stuff that they can create? Yeah,
And they're
absolutely.
so easy. They don't have to
Yeah.
leave the house. They just
That's right.
use the computer, make a phone call.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We could do a whole show on that. As a matter of fact, we
Mhm.
probably should. Maybe we should. We
Mhm.
should talk about that, because that's going to be coming up more and more, I'm afraid, as we move through this.
Yeah, they want to clear that land off, friends.
Yep.
Well, that was the first thing that all 4 points of the compass of Denver media were quick to hit. Fire season is no longer seasonal, and this is something we'll have to battle for years to come,
Oh, for crying
all
out-
year round.
oh boy.
So
Who said
go
that?
to the website, download our app so we can spam you.
Right.
Mhm.
So we can data,
Mhm.
we can
Mhm.
mine your
Yeah,
data.
data mine you.
Mhm.
I know I was at the
Yep.
store today and they're like, well, you can have additional savings if you use the digital coupon.
Of
I'm
course.
like, what
Yeah.
digital
Right.
coupon? He goes, have you
Right.
downloaded the app? No, I'm
How
not going to
is
let
that
you
not
data mine
digital
me.
discrimination?
It's crazy.
How is that not digital discrimination?
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I said to the guy, and the lady in front of me was 80 years old. She goes, I not even have a computer,
Right,
and I
right.
said, listen, I'm not getting the app. I go, I'm
Mhm.
going backwards. I'm deleting apps off my phone. He goes, me
Mhm.
too. So how much do you think that beef costs? Anyway, I said, well, the digital coupon said you get $2 off a pound if you use the digital coupon.
Mm.
So he gave me a discount on my ground beef. It was crazy. It's
Oh my
crazy.
gosh. Yeah, I
So
know.
the kid
I
behind
know.
the counter gave you the deal anyway.
Yeah.
Good man.
He
'Cause
was
Mhm.
a nice fellow.
And that's the big point. They can do that right there at the register. Absolutely.
Sure.
Oh, you got it.
But no, just you're not doing anything wrong. Just download. It'll take you a second. Just download it. You'll save the money. No.
Yeah, I know
if you just get it, everybody will be okay.
that's
Mhm.
right. Well, we should next week talk about the couple issues. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Yeah, we definitely need to do that, because it's going to be happening more and more, and people are. I mean, this is just the start. Or I should say, it's already been started, but it's nothing like it's going to be.
Now it's in our backyard, though. You can
Yes,
talk about
right.
California all you
Yes,
want.
right. That's right.
I used to live up there, so I know that it was painful for people, and some of my friends were
Mhm.
affected by those fires up in California,
Mhm.
and around Santa Rosa, and just it was so shocking that how fast stuff burned and how fast it caught fire. Those trees were burning from the inside out. Cars were exploding
Mhm.
because they have fuel inside of them. Hello, people, wake
Yeah.
up.
Fires
I
were
know.
starting on the trees and burning from the inside out.
Mhm.
Mhm.
There's video of that. The tree on the inside, the tree is fine. Why is the tree started on fire from the inside, burning out?
Oh, yeah.
Folks, what do you think that is happening to the human form? with 5G and with with weather modification. We're made of water.
Yeah, that's
the
right.
fourth booster takes care of that.
It does. You're dead. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyways, drink a lot of water, people. Drink a lot of water. That's all I can tell you.
Let me sneak in one shameless plug. So for those who want to follow the Kazakhstan story, because I'm still on it, but I'm doing it on Twitter because for whatever reason, Facebook is not allowing posts.
About Kazakhstan?
On Kazakhstan, yeah. If you put up the social media videos, it says this content is not allowed.
Interesting.
So if you want to follow, for viewers want to follow, I'm just at the Scooter McGee, or you can hashtag Scooter Damas, SCOOTERDAMMUS.
Okay.
And that will get you to those links, the fire links, and anything else that is breaking news. Because the other thing I've been covering is the unusual tornadic activity and storm activity on the East Coast.
Oh, in Kentucky,
that ultimately ended the other night with on I-95 in there in Virginia and Maryland, with everybody stranded, including Senator Tim Kaine.
Yeah, it's not nice to fool with Mother Nature.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Oh, it's not. Although they're the ones that are doing it.
I know, we didn't do it.
Well, everybody, thank you for your participation today. We really appreciate it.
Yes.
Joe, we hope you get a little better, that we're going to be able to do a couple more shows next week, maybe Tuesday, Thursday.
Okay.
Or Tuesday, Wednesday. I believe I've got something on Thursday myself. So
okay.
Have a great weekend, everybody. We will, I'm sure, talk off the air. Silky, it was lovely to see you today.
Thank you.
Joe, Scooter, as always.
Sorry, Silky.
Scooter was on fire today, man.
Yeah,
he was. I'm just not well.
We love you.
I wish I could spin the camera on the show. I mean, the monitors and the computers. And I mean, I can't even look at it anymore because I'm not slamming, but I know my voice is irritating. I get that. Why does everybody in the media now have to have a lisp? Why does everyone in the media have to have that condescending nod? And the inexcusable, I'm so uncomfortable lying, I can't figure out what to do with my hands. When I see that body language going on, and then I hear what's coming out of their mouths, and in some of the cases I know them, but as the media is like to welcome another member to our team. The old days, it was we were part of a family. And now that I know what the buzzwords and how they're using them. So instead of so-and-so, and I'll just say Jeremy Hubbard. Jeremy Hubbard, and we're going to Rogelio, whatever his last name is. Tell us your story. He's not reporting. The anchor is already saying, don't give us the facts. He's saying to the field narrator, tell us your story. We're on the scene, very emotional. Earlier today, witnesses heard, yada, yada, yada. And you can find out more on our Fox 31 News app. What is that? That's not the industry that I served for 34 years.
Or with any of us. It's changed dramatically. We're all
200 years, 170 years worth of experience in the media business on this show.
Oh, yeah.
At least. Yeah. And it's like none of us, it just doesn't ring true for any of us.
Absolutely. It's a completely different animal.
Do you get mad?
Oh, I can't watch regular. I don't know how
I can't either.
Consume it.
Yeah, I can't either. I'm the same way.
Especially the independents. Oh, how can you watch the independent stations? Good grief.
Same thing. I can't stand it either. It's just like if I see it on TV, it's just like, I can't wait to get that out.
I know. I can't see what's his name and his little gay friend. What's his name? I cannot do it.
Right. I know.
So for those who watch this show, we are going to try and figure out in the next 6 weeks how to have a standalone site, standalone video, a paywall. There won't be a paywall. We just have to have a firewall so that this YouTube and all the stuff. Oh, you can't say that. Can't do that. Got to be deleted. You got your strike in there. I'm done. Yeah. If we're going to provide a product, we've got to have it in a way that people can just go, oh, I know where to go get that here. And if we got to, and I want it still zero, but if we have to do 99 cents a month or 3 months or 6 months or a year, whatever makes it the cheapest way possible to put that wall up, so that was just hurtful, hateful speech, and I need you off the internet and you need to die. Really? And you call yourself a progressive liberal.
Well, we can take some tips from Jim Brewer. You know, the comic Jim Brewer. He's gone through holy hell and had to go
I
on
know.
Patreon.
Jim Brewer,
Yeah.
Nick DiPaolo, Adam Carolla, Anthony Cumia, name them. They got sidelined because you said something stupid. Well, screw it. We'll do it on our own. We'll just do it from the basement. We'll do it from a bunker. We'll just do it. And if you don't like it, then don't subscribe.
Right.
I don't feel better, but thank you for letting me vent. I love all of you.
Hey, it was the scooter show today.
Yeah, it was.
Right.
It's not supposed to be.
Well, thanks for going so long, Joe. We know that you weren't really up to it, but
That's right.
Sorry,
Yeah,
Joe.
but that's all good. You know, we got it in. We
Great
need
night and a great weekend, everybody.
absolutely.
you too.
All right,
Happy
guys.
weekend.
You bet.